alongside the
Cherry blossom paint the skies in an Lamborghini view from Tokyo light to Kyoto station.
Yeah.
Dreams come alive where spirits rise.
I push 50 opponents off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. Waves crash, pumping our sense, harmony flows to the best of lands. In the neon glow, where is bent, the culture rich, where is sense, even more no grace. Dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and
Well, I just sort of got myself in a
find your
valve already.
magic in the moonlit nights.
Alrighty, guys. Well, let's get ourselves going. We are still on the 1.55 right now. There are some issues going on with the 1.55, 1.56 right now. And you guys can go check down the link down in the description on a lot of things, because that thing down there does not have any point of things for us as a 1.56 user. Some of the mods here do use 1.56, but I just can't get some of those there because they're set for 1.56 when they are not in any way, shape, or form used. Now, now we're gonna turn you down a little bit. Now in our last episode, on our driving journey, I guess, technically these are not necessarily episodes, these are just talking heads about politics and stuff, but we are now utilizing the International LT, but we're gonna go to services. We need to go actually to company trailer manager. We need to relocate you down to commerce down here because this is where we are at. We are now we moved our main headquarters down into California now, but we do have places still in Washington. We also have Colorado. And this one here and this one, basically we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trucks, and we pretty much, when we did start here, we actually did put the Lone Stars there. Down here we have the International 900, and then you have the International LT. If I'm not mistaken, if we go to Truck Explorer, I believe there's only 3 Internationals in here. Yeah, the International 99i, Lone Star, and the LT. We might go in and pick another truck, but, and both of these are going to say not available, because yep. So in our last episode, we actually went to a country I'd never heard of before, and stuff, and it's very, very interesting to see things of it. Now, of course, we have to adjust our seat. Now, now before we absolutely do, let me double check, LT. No, I know it. I had. Thanks, Ed Hunter, for joining. I don't check my DMs while I'm on stream. I'll check it later. Um, yeah, we got the mirror alignment for the International LT, but that's why I selected the other truck. That's why I liked the other one for it. Yeah, I wanted to see, maybe we can go in specifically. It'd be considered truck parts. Um, we might just stick with the other one. But see, that's not even right either. The FOV slider. Okay, because that's the FOV slider for 120. It's usually 65. 5. I might bring it back just a tad bit. Okay. We'll see how this goes for one trip. If I don't like it, then I can just go back to the international, the other one, and we'll still have this truck as if it's that way. But we are going to do that. Sakawaji, Squadgy. For that one, that's going to Sierra Vista. And that's going to Jackson, Wyoming. Let's do... That one's only a 2-hour trip time going to Los Angeles, San Diego. For a short little trip. That is taking Kenworth trucks to Utah. To Moab. Utah. That one's 2-hour trip time. That one might be something we just go and do for today. We can't even take that. Can we take you? No. The truck analysis says no, we cannot pick this up, and we have the highest rated no, that's just the cargo market. If we wanted to take a... But... Wait, what? We could take that to hold on. We could go back to Peleyu. We could go back to Peleyu from Los Angeles. And it's going to take a 254 hours. Now, to be able to get there, we have to come up here. Here. How long? How long is it if you go to the world map? How long is it to... It's 28 hours. And to take it to a place like that, that's not going to be a terrible... It's not going to be a terrible thing to do that. But it's 26 hours. I want to see if we got anything a little bit... Like, 'cause I don't want to go back to Peleyu. Truly, I don't want to go back there. Right now. Because I don't have a lot of time today, so that takes dynamite. You know what? Let's do that one. I don't care. We need to get somewhere. Nope, not see there. Because we have to make a wide... wide enough turn to get ourselves out of this thing. Now, of course, no. No, the vehicle adjusters are seats. we'll see how things go, but you know, there's a lot that goes into a lot of these these mods, and the mods do take are and are considered one of the essentials for me to play a game like this. You know, it has some of the ProMod stuff. Like, I added a lot. Like, right now, if we wanted to, I could go to Florida and from here down to Florida. But unfortunately, being able to get down there is going to take some time to get over to that area and over there. I am not in any way, shape, or form going to build anything or businesses out there, because I'm only going to build up to basically where I have no relative access to a lot of these games, and a lot of things. And so it's, you know, the mods that I use are down there specifically. There will be probably, if I could get Reforma, if I can get all the map DLCs for this, then I would have at least up to Reforma, and having Coast to Coast be absolutely fantastically fit on a better standpoint. To have a better standpoint on a lot of the mods that I use. And I will tell you, for those of you, I will absolutely utilize it's not what I came. Okay. I'm sorry, I had to get TikTok open. Too, I was unprofessional like today. You know, normally I have these things ready to go, and it says Marvel Rivals instead of absolutely Euro Truck, because I'm so lazy today. But I am going to be honest. You know, it's one of those things where there are a lot of things that I just don't like what's going on and what's being said. It's like one of the things that is not listed on the topics today is that they are now introducing this tells you how much these guys are really not wanting to, you know, put God and put Jesus. Like, you know, to be honest, like if they wanted anybody else to be put on a coin, you know, I would say, if it wasn't the founding, they only wanted the coins to. I have to make a wide turn, and I don't want to. Okay. Now, it's that company right there. There, so I have to go back just a tad bit. because kinda trying to get down in here. But it's one of those things, guys, where I will select our cargo. That's going to Hobbs, New Mexico. That's going, yeah, for 10. For this, I will absolutely take this one. And then I'll do a thing real quick, guys. There we go. Okay, so where is... Yeah, I tried. I tried my best, guys. Now, of course, I'm going to stand and wait here on the light. Because it gives people that opportunity to make a better, thanks Lacey Cab for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. But one of the things that I specifically wanted to really come in and talk with you guys a lot today is that, you know, is that there's a lot of things that go on within life, and it's just really tough when, sorry, hold on, trying to do two things at once just does not do well. It's one of those things where it's very, very difficult in life to really comprehend what's going on. It's like we got news going all over the place. We've got everything going on from which way direction. It's really flooding the zone, really not knowing what's going on. This is why when I talk with you guys, it's like, don't just rely on Fox News. Don't just rely on these mainstream media, and trust me, don't even rely on Fox News. I am somebody that does not listen to Fox News because of the things that they say. It's like if you're going out and you're basically on the case on a lot of these things, it's like you would think that rhetoric like that, you know, people would say, oh, we're sorry, we're gonna stop talking about it, but it's like, or they're sorry about this rhetoric that they're putting out, but they put it out, and they put it out, and then, you know, you may say it like the next couple of days, and people don't hear your apology. People don't, like, they only listen to your your station for that day. They don't hear it, and it can be really problematic. Is don't say those words at all, and use better words instead of just being sorry. And then, you know, if you're sorry, then why don't you try shifting your tone and shifting the way that you talk about things, instead of just saying, oh, I'm sorry, but then you continue to double down on it. You're not sorry. You know, when you make content or you make rhetoric because of, and then you say you're sorry about it, it's like, no, you're not. You know? Oh, lane assist. Oh, okay. This is different. Totally different. Way different. Okay, so this truck actually has, okay, lane assist. Interesting. Okay, makes much more sense to having something like this. But it's one of those things that actually, I think I might use this truck more often now. Just because of that. I always hit people on the side of the thing because I can't tell, and that's actually one of those things that these truck drivers can use, is that it helps them to say, hey, there's somebody there. It makes much more convenient, makes much more better understanding of things, but it's so much more better understanding when you make comments and you make things. It's like, yeah, you have to the difference between graphics, I'm somebody that doesn't know the difference between 1080p and 1440p. To be honest, I've never really used 1440p. I've never used 4K. I've been pretty much 1080p pretty much been up to 1080p my entire life. So cannot tell you, to be honest, my phone, I cannot tell the difference between 1440p or 4K and 1080p. And I have a phone that goes to 4K. So I can't tell the difference on it. There's like little noticeable differences, maybe. If the bigger the screen you are, the better it probably will be. You aren't gonna notice a difference on a 1080p screen that's 32 inches or on things. it's really one of those things that it's really difficult to tell the difference between it. Like like it's just the difference between something and difference between, you know, it's just like you know, if you looked at something and you basically say put a 1080p and a 1440p and 4K right next to each other, you couldn't tell. You probably might not be able to tell the difference. It might be so negligible that, you know, if you put something 480, if you put 480p and 1080p next to each other, you're gonna have a noticeable difference. Trust me, I know, because I pretty much know the difference between that's why a lot of times, like, I don't go for 4K. I haven't really gone for 4K because there's no point on that issue. I've gone with 1080p on my 1080p because it's like, why go 4K when you're sitting here at a desk and you don't need that crisp 4K. When I play a lot of indie titles, I play a lot of games on PC specifically that are 1080p only, or pretty much not going to notice anything difference. I do have a PlayStation 5, but my PlayStation 5 running it on 1080p, the game still looks just gorgeous for what it's worth. It's like the only games I play is Fortnite and Call of Duty and Diablo on it, but I haven't played anything that's, and I'll even respond with Returnal. I played on 1080p, it looks dead gorgeous. Like, these games, like a lot of people think that they need to have a 4K display. If you want to go for the 4K display, you're gonna be fantastic, but if you look at a 4K display, try to make sure, like, look at your budget. Mostly 1440p. Like, if you want to go 1440p, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you. I believe that 1440p, like, if you have a wide panel, like, I would probably would increase that 4K display. I would work on getting a widescreen panel if you're gonna do something like Euro Truck or something. Get like a 3 panel. You're gonna have a hard time with 4Ks trying to get 3 panels at 4K. You're gonna be more likely to get a 1080p panel and have all 3 of those panels better for your viewing pleasure than anything else. And technology just isn't like the display technology just doesn't quite there. And it's like if you are somebody that for the Pixio, I have a Pixio Wave. I don't remember exactly which one, but the display, basically the Pixio Wave does not absolutely has HDR feature, but if you turn on HDR and your eyes aren't quite adjusted to it, like fake HDR or whatever, it's like whatever this display has, like I'll tell you, like HDR, like I turn that thing as, like, it bothers my eyes just having HDR. Now regular things with epilepsy and things, like I don't have epilepsy, to be honest. It's just the fake HDR kind of really bugs me out. Like, I've used HDR, like it's not great. I wouldn't recommend HDR if you are somebody that does view a lot of content like that for it. That's one thing that you can look at. The difference is I can notice the difference between HDR. Fake HDR does not really do justice. And I have it turned on. I have my HDR on my monitor turned on. You guys can't even see HDR, to be honest, because my capture card doesn't even give you HDR viewing for it, because my capture card was literally right at the time that 4K is it's 4K past through, it's 1080p. You're not gonna notice any difference. I don't stream in 4K because people being able to have 4K just takes a lot more time to encode and more time to stream it. Than it does to stream anything else. And if you guys are wondering why I have double of that, is because if I have to go to check and inspect, go to the inspection, I can just look up the top thing up there. So I don't notice any difference. To be honest, with a small device, my Samsung S20 that pretty much has 4K built in, I don't notice a difference between 1080p and 4K. You know, I am pretty sure that the more that you look at the things like that, it's like why do you need 4K? Like if my phone comes 4K, I'm just gonna let it go 4K, but like I don't actively go and look out for 4K. Personally, I'd rather, if I'm gonna look at something, I'm gonna go with a I'm gonna try to go 1080p as much as I can, and go with high refresh rate. I would rather have the high refresh rate than the visual fidelity. Like, I don't care about my visuals as much as probably a lot of people think. Like, my visuals in my thing is like, I actually would rather have 60 FPS and better visuals. It is not the same. I would always like to go 60 FPS or higher, and this monitor goes up to 120. So I would rather go with higher frame refresh rate than 4K or 1440p for that matter. So, but most everything that I have bought have not been something that most people would probably know. You know, my case is not a typical case that everybody thinks. My computer case is a Vetru. Like, you've probably heard of Vetru before with Vetru V5, because that's been one of those low profile things that I have also in my case. But I went and actually looked at the Vetru V5, wanted it in pink. They had a pink version, and I wanted to get it in pink. Didn't get it in pink. Bought it from Vetru themselves. I just got the black one, so it's like whatever. I didn't care as much because I just needed to be able to get my computer you know, going and just get it going and build. If I got the Vetru V5, that's all I wanted, really. If I got it in pink, I got it in pink. If I got it in black, I got it in black. I didn't care. And so I pretty much have been using AMD, and I'm not gonna disregard AMD any point. I'm gonna be somebody that's gonna consistently use AMD over Intel and Nvidia. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I'll tell you, I'm not gonna use Nvidia for anything. Because I am trying to, like, the only Nvidia thing that I have in my house that I absolutely bought knowing it was Nvidia was my laptop. Because it's hard to get AMD and Nvidia, AMD laptop and AMD. My next one, if I ever do upgrade from my laptop, from my current one, I will probably end up switching to full AMD, and going with a framework laptop, because I've heard really actually good things about the framework laptop that I am actually pretty much really much going to be happy with that. I feel. And it's like, I've seen framework from Linus Media Group supporting it. I've seen Barnacle Nerdgasm talk about it. I've seen many things about the framework laptop that actually just seem like something that I would absolutely go out there and right there ahead and buy a framework laptop over a Lenovo or over anything, because I would rather have the ability to customize and be able to also have better sustainability for it. But I don't know if I really want to go with the framework laptop right now. Because I just, you know, I'm not quite for sure, because I've also been thinking about going MSI and not actually sticking with Lenovo. But I don't, like, the biggest thing is like, when I look at building a computer, like, my laptop is pretty much outdated. It is literally an outdated laptop that's pretty much what I'm using to stream with, and I think it's a good streaming computer, something that I'll keep for streaming and that, but then I will upgrade, change it to this framework or whatever, so that I can use it when I go traveling, or I might just ditch this laptop altogether and just have this as an old Windows 11 laptop that I'm not going to be using, or just end up switching, because the thing is one of the things that I want to utilize is I want to start utilizing Linux, and I want to get into using Linux more frequently, and I want to go full AMD because of it. And it's not that Linux and AMD are, it's not that Linux and Nvidia are great. It's just I would prefer that I use something other than Nvidia, because, you know, with the thing is why I'm not going to stick with Intel is because of the United States government having some, yeah. See, this is why I needed that to check the thing, just to make up there so I can see, hey, I need to pull in for service. So I don't pick Intel just because I've had Intel. I'll tell you, I've had Intel as well. I'll tell you, I've had Intel laptops. I've had AMD laptop. The only AMD laptop I have is the one I'm running now. And it's running with a 1650, I think, a 1650 Ti. Or it's running with a 1650. But I wanted to go with the 1660, because I felt like it would be a little bit better of a graphical fidelity and a little bit better things that I could use it for. This laptop does not run games well, modern games. It will not literally run Fortnite in the best fidelity graphics for what it's worth. It's like I would rather sit down and play it on my PlayStation, to be honest. And I just don't like the laptop itself. The laptop itself, I don't mind the laptop. When I bought it at the time, I needed a laptop, and it was 2000. It was like 2020 when they had these out in production with the 1600 series of GPUs. But I was really trying to actively look for AMD because I just really thought AMD's, like, I'm really glad I did, because AMD's on top of their game right now with CPUs. And so I've always am somebody that's going to go with that. I went full AMD on my computer. You know, I am last generation's GPU and CPU. I think I'm running a 6700 XT. I think I'm running that graphics set, but I'm running the 5600X on that. You guys can always check it out down below. I have it there. I just don't remember right off the top of my head because I'm sitting here driving and I'm not gonna look over and just absolutely do it. But I do have 32 gigs of RAM on this computer because I was like, I need to future-proof this computer a little bit. Need to future-proof it enough that I can still play games and still have some modern stuff. But you know, there's only about 3 things that what? Really? I did not see you. drop there. But I know specifically, thanks God River for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. But I know specifically that if I do get another laptop, how you doing, by the way? But if I do, it's like I said, I'm gonna stick with full AMD if I can. Yeah, I play this. I absolutely find this game very enjoyable using mods that have not been updated to 1.56 yet. Still waiting on Eurotruck to get, oh no, oh, you want to talk about mods? Any mods that do have the, I use mods actually myself. For those of you who don't know, I actually use, if you go to GMC, if you just type in GMC ATS or ETS2 in Google or your favorite search engine, you'll find it pretty easily. And I went to 1.55 and downloaded, I did not use the allmods.net, I used Truckee Mods. Most of my mods are from Truckee Mods or from GMC Community, or I use it from the Steam Workshop, because I would rather, that's just where I use all of my mods. Specifically, I use the, the mods I specifically use, it's going to be a lot easier, if we, here, I'll show you the mods I've got. I'm just gonna save this over because I really want to show you guys all the mods I do have. 24, 2025. Because if I save it now, I know it'll auto-save, but I just want to save it over that. Here, let's go show you guys all the mods I do use for this game, because I went to GMC. These are all map mods. Most everything I use is map mods. I do not have any visual mods or anything of that nature for trucks. But these are all the mods. I do not have the Mega Resources Beyond in here because it just, for whatever reason, I didn't need these. Need it for the Beyond because I don't have a lot of things. But all of this is from GMC Community. Primarily using ProMods Canada. 1.55, not the 1. Latest. And then we use the Reforma Beyond Fix, Washington, More Cities, Washington, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, Coast to Coast Road Connection is there because this is the order that you have to have it in. TerraMaps, Coast to Coast, right there. Then I have Discover Oregon, More American Cities, California, Better Project Arizona, Altoona Islands, and then I have Project Better Arizona Reforma Connection. I have that down here because I'm not using Reforma. And then I use the SL Mega Pack truck flags, the cabin Canadian flag. Use realistic road barriers for better visibility. Then I have brought forward mirror for the International and the International LT. I also use the International Lone Star new mirror set, and then I have all the Pride packs available. Then I have the realistic brutal graphics and weather mod, new road textures, real traffic density, and real companies. I don't need any more mods, I don't think. Now, Now, I would love to run the full screen maps. I would love to run the original load screen, but as you can see, they're both 1.56, and the full screen maps are set up to 1.56. I do not have 1.56 because of ProMods, and some of these other mods will break if I do. I would love to run the Discovery North America, but I am missing DLCs for it. I would love to run the ATS one as well, but I can't use it because I run out of mods. Can't use Reforma because Reforma, according to this, it says it's incompatible because I need 1.56. And I don't have 1.56. So, pretty much, because of ProMods Canada, I can't use Western Canada either because I'm also missing map mods that I don't have the money for. And I would love to, same thing with this one, I can't run this because I'm missing a whole bunch of mods as well as the Volvo construction equipment. All of those mods I cannot run in it. So, pretty much I have a lot of these mods that I use. And yes, I do know. Alright. But I will tell you, I do know of allmods.net. But I would check GMC Community for the maps and stuff, because the maps are going to get you where you need to go. I am going to show you guys how to do this in another video. But I'm going to finish up this drive. You guys can check out the video on my YouTube site on how to actually get these mods going and absolutely getting places for it. And you can tell when you go to my maps, when I load in, you can tell which maps I'm missing. If you come over here, you can tell what maps I'm missing. Like, I can't, like, coast to coast, like, I can run coast to coast, but I just don't have access to these area. Like, as far as, like, this is Missouri, like, I don't have access to Missouri. I don't have access to this state. I don't have access to Iowa, Missouri. I don't have access to Nebraska, and I don't have access to Oklahoma. And I don't have... I know I'm missing one. I can't remember the other map that I'm missing that's down there. So yeah, no, I do have a... I do have a lot of maps and mods that I do use, and of course, if you want me to build your truck and stuff, if you have like wheel mods, steering wheel mods that you want me to check out, I will be happy to check those out because I'm looking for a better wheel than what I've got. Because I don't like the in-game wheels as much. Like that's one of those things where but this is the closest thing that I like, because there was one that I wanted to have. I wanted to have the one that they have from in Euro Truck that I have, from my SL Mega Pack, and my Euro Truck I'm not expanding. Like, there's the GMC Community guys. Like, there is an ETS2 one as well. If you're on 1.55, that's the best place to go for it. For if you're looking to get into that. Now, 1.52, 1.56 is what I do not have yet, and I am not going to run with 1.56 yet until the mods are absolutely, here in America, until the mods are absolutely, for sure, fully fixed, to upgraded. As soon as I'm going to update and check to see if once GMC gets their mods updated, we'll upgrade to 1.56. But in Euro Truck, in ETS2, we will upgrade to 1.56 in ETS2, because I'm just waiting on ProMods to get their fixed. And once they do, then we'll be into ETS 2. I don't need a lot of locations for this one. Because if I wanted to get driving into a lot of places, I want to be able to get you guys into more. There is a lot of places out there that, you know, if we know that, I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty sure the next one is going to be either Illinois or South Dakota as our next location. Because I'm pretty sure South Dakota is probably going to be next because it's just so easy to get done. But we don't know exactly everything that is coming for this game. But anyway, that's the news that for me or anything for this game that I use. And I will always have, guys, the only ones I don't modify my truck. I use the in-game stuff because I absolutely found a truck design that I really like, and AT American Truck Simulator basically gave it to me already. So I'm like, why not? I literally love the easiest thing is I love the I love the retro wave theme that they went with this, and we're just gonna go and shuffle. Because I went to Panda Beats, I went to look for some retro wave music, and I found Panda Beats out of it for free, and so that's what I listen to as our daily listening, if we do. Sometimes I forget to turn them on, sometimes I just want to have silence and not have any music in the background, but one of the things that that I will tell you is like I use a variety of content. In my ETS2, ETS2 is the only one that I haven't gotten into making a managed trucking for this one, and there's a reason, because I just don't want to make ETS2. I don't want to bring that over when I have a design already here. In Euro Truck, I built my own trucking company over there as an actual thing, but if you guys are wanting to see that, I'm waiting on, today's supposed to be a Euro Truck today, but because we got 1.56 waiting on ProMods to get updated, fully updated, I want to make sure that when we do so I am somebody that, if you look out at the stuff that goes on within the game, you know, this game does bring out a lot in me, for talking politics and stuff, and this is what we do. You know, afternoons is always politics. It's nothing politics, maybe a little bit of technology, here and there, but mostly politics. And if you don't like that, that's fine. You don't have to be here and watching me or play this game or listen to me in the background or whatever, but I'm always going to be here doing that, because I am somebody that needs to share my own opinions on things, because it's just what I like to talk about, and I actively will tell you, I actively watch, and I'll tell you, I'm not somebody that's completely, entirely, I've kind of shifted a lot of my political things that I tend to share, that I am way more left-leaning than you guys think. I'm not. I'm less left. I'm more left leaning than you guys think, but I'm also not far left. I am a moderate Democrat. I am somebody that you could probably say I have some of those values on the right where you know, but I always tend to tell you that I do lean lean left because the biggest three things that really put me into leaning left is LGBTQ. That's the one that puts me into the left. That's why I'm left leaning than right leaning. It doesn't matter if you are right leaning and you voted for Trump and you are LGBTQ. You're not LGBTQ. You're not with the community when you decide to vote for somebody that's willing to take away your rights or anybody's rights. Doesn't matter. You know, and it's when I'm left leaning because not only that, but I'm also left leaning because I'm more progressive left than I am on things. It's like I am somebody that lines with Bernie Sanders a little bit with some of his things, and a lot of people think, yeah, I would love to vote for Bernie Sanders. I would love to vote for him over anybody else, but unfortunately, having him there, I could see him and AOC being the president and him being vice, just to kind of help AOC and kind of, you know, do things. But a lot of people don't really get these three things that I always will tell you that I am somebody that's avidly a supportive of gun rights. To an extent, I am not somebody that's full right-leaning on the extent of guns. Like, you know, why I look like it says that we have the right to bear arms. It does not say what kind of arms we have the right to bear. You know, if I really tell you that the Second Amendment, like, I've read the Second Amendment. I don't know it by heart, but I have read it before. And just because it says that your Second Amendment, do you have the right to bear arms, you do not have the right to bear arms of a rocket launcher. You do not have the right to bear arms and having a grenade. You do not have the right to bear arms and have a nuke. Because if that were the case, then we would be in very, 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 very big trouble, and everybody would be up in arms on it. It's like you think that if you have the right to bear arms, then you would have the right to have those things. You don't have the right to bear arms when, you know, it says that you have it. Like, you can have a pistol, you can have these things, but it does not say what arms you have the right to. If you talk about when this was written, I always look at the Second Amendment. When you talked about it was written in the 1700s, 1800s. Like, it's talked about in the late 1700s. The 1776 was when the Constitution was founded. The Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms. But when you have those right to bear arms, you have the right for muskets. You have the right to what was available then. You do not have the right to a single shot rifle back in the day. It does not. If they saw what was going on today, they'd probably would reword the Second Amendment to fit things for modern day as well, just to kind of, you know, because look, if there are places in other countries of the world that have less gun violence, wrong hole. I'm pretty sure I can do this. But it's like, thanks Sophia. It's like people don't really think things through. It's like it's like one of the things that I always look into is you a lot of things like and the thing is like it's like when I ask people, because you guys will find me, if you guys ever do and you guys are on Newsbreak, you'll find my political views there. I'm not gonna sugarcoat on some of these things, but some of the things I just ask people, it's like they say we have the right to bear arms, so that means you have the right to when I ask that question, I want you to understand that no, if you say that we have the right to bear arms, then you have the right. That means everybody has the right to have a grenade. Everybody has the right to have a rocket launcher. Everybody has the right to have a nuke. And if you say that, oh, you don't, these are that you that then you need to shut up about the saying that you have the right to bear arms for all arms, because you don't. You don't. Because the whole point of this is that we have become so ingrained that, you know, that if you want to have an AR, you can have an AR, but it's like one of those things where, you know, I'm going to tell you, it's like I can go either way, because I'm somebody that, you know, find a way to save kids. Well, but yet they don't want to find a way. Like when I take this objectively when I look at things and say, okay, there are people out there that basically would say, you want guns, and you want more guns, you know. And one of the things that I always look into when I look at things is, like, I am not somebody that, I like to take things logically a little bit sometimes. I'm not perfect at this. But when you look at what the Republican Party, they say they want to protect children, and they want to help children grow, and want children to protect them, but they're not protecting children by getting them free school meals every day. They aren't out there protecting children on intellectual level. You know, they think that, you know, the Tylenol thing, it's like they say they want to protect children. Yeah, they said, oh well, but then you look at the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization is saying something else. And if God was standing here, would he say something else even entirely for both? Like, of course. And one of the things that people don't seem to understand with anything is that, you know, this recent thing with Trump on his speech at the UN, it was really dumb. Because first off, basically he doesn't understand that, you know, when you look at things from the perspective of these places, you got to think about a couple of things first. He basically, the first thing that he said was talked about that, oh, there's not enough wind. There's not enough wind to produce these things. Of course. But where does the wind tend to be a lot of the case? In the plains? I know, because I live in the plains. I live out here. Sometimes he'll say, like, you know, and he said that, oh, China doesn't, like, you know, and a lot of things on these wind issues, but look, China is the world in these, is the world in this technology. They have wind farms. I literally was watching, like, I can go on TikTok and I looked at this, like, I followed a guy who is from China, literally lives in China, and has shared that, guess what, they have wind turbines there. They have solar panels. And you want to talk about not having these things. Like, I am somebody that believes in that we should use all of this forms of energy, all types of energy. You know, and I went and typed in chat GPT. The thing of it is I looked at chat GPT and I went and asked, what is the most expensive form of energy? Nuclear power is the most forms of energy. The most expensive to build outright and then maintain. Then to maintain it, it's low cost. But it's more to me, it seems more dangerous to have that than having solar and wind turbines. They're like the lowest cost of producing energy. It's like you can still have the place. Not every place is going to need wind power. Not every place can utilize it. So what else do we use? We use solar panels. If you use solar panels, where does a lot of things, and it's like you don't understand what the battery issue. Batteries, boom, creates batteries to store these things, to store the power, to store the energy, so that we can use it it's like a backup battery during the day. During the day, it runs on solar, but then at night, we can get those things going and get those things set up properly. I'm not somebody that, you know, looking at it logically, you have to think about it. Don't just believe what comes out of somebody's mouth. Don't believe Fox News just because Fox News says one thing. Don't believe the polls because the polls say one thing. The polls only look at a handful of people. The polls do not reflect what happens in these within America. It does not reflect the thing. It's like you look at the polls, it's like the polls didn't do jack in 2024 when they said, oh, Kamala Harris is going to be able to get in. Oh, Kamala Harris. It's like, no. I was like, it's like, but see, the thing of it is if that's why I don't trust polls. Because what I really wish people would realize is that you should look at those polls as something where there's some of these people are flowing this way. But what you should really think about is absolutely getting out and voting instead of just sitting around and doing nothing. You think you can have it locked in, you know? You have to go and actually take action, and not just go out and have it be some believable thing that by taking a poll and voting, you're not voting for the actual election. You're just voting to kind of say, this is the way I'm going to lean to go vote. Actually go vote. You know, this is why when I look at things throughout the history of all of these things, it's like not just history, but just looking at that logically, it's like that's why I don't look at polls and things and stuff, but that's why I don't trust it when Trump basically got onto the UN thing and said, look, you know, he had a disastrous day because, oh, he's basically escalator issue, you know, that escalator thing. Yeah, that might get annoying. I might I think I will probably not drive this truck. I think we will Probably go back to our international, our older international for it. So I think we will go back to Washington. I don't care really. We'll do just-in-time delivery as well. There. But one of those things that you have to really think about when you look into these his the things that go on, it's like he had a problem with the teleprompter, and all of these right-wing people are blaming the UN and blaming things that weren't there. They weren't absolutely there to observe what went on. They don't have the evidence to back up their claims and stuff. It's like you can't just rely on you cannot say, like, one of the things that I always liked about CSI. One of the things that they always said is that you have to take it to where the evidence takes you. The evidence is what's going to actually get you to who's right. It's going to take you to, this is the person that's going to be the person. Like, you can't just go and say, surely Trump didn't do this. Surely Trump didn't do it. But the evidence says otherwise. Okay? You want to pin the evidence, and you want to pin it on somebody saying, oh, this leans to this guy, to guy A, but then guy B is the one that did it, and you have to really think about the evidence. You really, like, there might be, this guy might had some things related to it, and it's just like you have to take where the evidence goes, not just relying on one person or the other, and just saying this is the person, this is the guy, because we make mistakes, because it could have been a mistake. We could have had somebody else, and that somebody else, it's the way that we do things. I don't like to justify why. I don't ask why, I ask the evidence, and I let the evidence do the talking. Let the evidence do those things before anything. Because you can't just believe, you cannot just believe what is being said where you go, what station you listen to, what station what news sources you go from. Don't just believe everything you hear from it. Because these countries are going to fail because they're using wind, because they're using solar, and they're not. You think that a lot of these countries are going to fail because they use the wind or they use the solar, but yet we're here, we're in debt, and we're going to get away from it because it's going to and it's like we're gonna fail as a country because we're not taking advantage of everything. We have the cleanest air in America because we have made strides to make it cleaner. But you go and look at China. They're working on that. They're trying to work on getting cleaner air for their society. It's like, look at Japan. Go back to the 1980s. And go back to the 1980s and look at 1980s Japan. And then take Japan and look at it now in 2025. Smog-ridden back then, little to no smog, or even if that at all, in Japan today. A lot of these people don't think these things through and how do they do it? Because they figured, because of manufacturing, and but there are a lot of other things that factor into a lot of places, and you can't just say that, and it's just really, really bad. And then the Jimmy Kimmel thing, he got onto this wasn't at the UN, but the other thing at the UN is basically they couldn't hear him well. There was a lot of things that And the World Health Organization, okay, not part of the UN, but went out and actually, basically, I'd rather stand with the World Health Organization on the Tylenol issue, because, you know, it's one of those things that none of those things absolutely brought us here to have autism. Autism has existed. There are probably, like, let me be clear, autism is probably has existed for years upon years, decades upon centuries, even. But people don't look at it this way and say, you know, look, we just have autism now because we have better understanding of it. We have a better knowledge and better understanding of what's going on than what's being done back then. Now, of course, what I will do, guys, is I am going to give up this vehicle. I am not going to drive this lane assist vehicle. I'm going to let my other drivers have some of the modern stuff, but I am going to basically say I'm going to go to services. We're going to go to services. We're gonna go to trailer purchase. We're gonna go to my fleet configuration. It's 87,230 on this. No, we are here in Sholo. We have a place to rest there and down here, but no gas stations down here. So it's one of those things where if we needed to go get gas, we have to go that way or up here into Hullbrook in order to do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to quick travel. We're just going to go to company. We're just going to quick travel. The quick travel to Los Angeles. Because I can spend that what 1,000 can spend. Because if I can quick travel, I'm gonna do it. Because we do need to rest. Yeah, I'm going back with my international 9. I'm gonna go back with the international 900 for it. So I am gonna we're gonna come over here. We're gonna modify this service. We're going to basically repair you. Confirm on all of that. Then we're gonna go to truck configurator. And we'll leave some of the things. We'll leave what we've got. Everything on the outside is gonna be fine. It's on the inside that I am going to come in. We're gonna clear you out. Actually no, this one here. We're gonna change some of the flags around. And then we'll put the because I'm pretty much you're not gonna see a lot of driving. I do leave I will leave like the truck design, I'll leave that in. And I'll leave the international spoke. Because international, like, it could go back to the international classic. To just confirm on that. And this is gonna be that way there. Now, what we're gonna do is we're going to go to company. I'm gonna find my player myself. We're gonna relocate. Okay. Let's go to services. Let's check used truck market. Because we might have international Lone Star Day Cab. We have that right there. At 1,108,590. We also have the international LT, the other one, there for a little bit more. Personally, we're not gonna do that. So we're just gonna go to driver manager. We're gonna take the we are doing. Did we go to the international? We could do the international Lone Star as well. On duty. Because of the thing. Where are we? We are in. Oh no, we are in Seattle. We are in Seattle for the international. We could change and go with the international Lone Star again. And the international Lone Star is slightly if we do truck manager, these are slightly, the international Lone Stars are slightly higher, and I think I want to drive this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go to driver manager. We're gonna actually move ourselves to Colorado now. And then we're gonna move Ralph W. We're gonna relocate you down here to driving that, and then I'm gonna relocate myself into driving this. So now we are going to leave our single dry van. We're just gonna have the dry van for it. Hold on. In these locations. But let's go back to trailer purchase again. We can go down to dry van. we will purchase an extra. We'll purchase an dry van for up here. Each location will have a single dry van for the company, but I would like to. And then I also can go to. To also customize the configuration, having the flat bed, because then maybe we can, I would have to upgrade to the aluminum flatbed because I don't like the wooden. I always like to have the aluminum as much as I can. Because it would follow steel wall. Just having the pride color for it, like that's the color for it, and it's like I would just go with graphite gray because, to be honest, you know, it's just a lot cheaper for it. But we don't have the modifications right now. I could just do the flatbed, just normal. Purchase a flatbed. We can modify it later. And I'll also put it down here in Aurora, Colorado as well. Which now that's just going to give us the opportunity. Now let's go down here. We're going to need to go to the bank though. I will buy that, because we're gonna need to, we're gonna change up a little bit of our cargo a little bit, for what we're doing. We're going to, no driver, no trailer manager. We got the flatbed. We've also got the dry van. We've been going with the dry van for quite some time. Los Angeles now has the dry van. We have a flatbed. That, yeah, as you can see, there was a dip there. Do you guys want me to keep driving the dry van, or the flatbed? For now, I am just going to utilize the dry van for now. But if you guys want me to start with the flatbed, we will do that. Not today. Not today though. Today. I'm gonna need to go down to there, down to Aurora. Yeah, so much better for driving anyway. I think the International 900 is gonna be better. The International 900 or this International. Okay. Okay. And once I'm going to, or tonight, I know what I'm making for supper tonight anyways, because, that's why I didn't get off at 5:30 when I dropped off the thing. Because I am going to make some mac and cheese. But not just any mac and cheese, though. Make my, if actually, we might just make mac and cheese. I might do a, if I have what I think I need. I could do this tomorrow and just get out the truck tomorrow. I know we didn't get into the last topic, to be honest. For today's last topic, I did not get into. I got into the UN thing with, you know, and the thing is there was another thing let me double check everything. The other thing that I wanted to get into was just the ice, on the issue of ice, just a brief thing, but there was one last thing I wanted to talk about on the issue with the, with Trump, and there was another thing that I wanted to show. It's like he had issues that same day. It's like when I was talking about how they rushed to conclusion on his, or they rushed to conclusion on his behalf. He rushed, like people were, like I said, he was rushing to, a lot of people rushed and didn't know what was going on with that escalator, but he also had a teleprompter issue too. So it was really just bad day for him. But he made it longer, 40 minutes longer, but I think that was somewhat intentional. Thanks, Headhunter. Thanks for... Yeah, I need to hurry up, so I'm just gonna... Even though it's yellow, I'm gonna still do this. But the thing of it is that, with that going on, you know, then we had the incidents earlier today, or yesterday or whatever, I don't remember exactly the time frame, but there was two people who basically got shot, a detainee, and they basically said, and they planted evidence on the thing that they basically did was, the guy, don't know any more details, but the FBI, I was in Dallas, by the way, but the FBI had specifically came in and planted evidence and said that, you know, no, I'm not gonna do the Skyrise. I want to see what the Skyrise sleeper is, just to see. And then what I want to do is we go with the 6x4 to carry heavier cargo. That's pretty much I want the Skyrise because it's got that. That better maneuverability, to be honest. I'm gonna clear the order on this, just because. But that's not what I came in here for. What I came in here, we came in here to change the accessories. We're gonna disable all, and we're just going to come down here and enable you. I want the 3-spoke pearl. I want that. I like this style. I like this 3-spoke pearl, so we're gonna stick with there. We're going to enable all of it. We'll leave the trans flag alone. And we'll put the trans flag there. Go and put our dashboard. Let's go find EV. And then we'll come over here. Evil Eye Amulet. No. The transplant can stay up there. Then let's go down here. Let me go look up bottle. We got the 6-packs bottle there. And then up here, we're gonna look up, I like to just put the truck info there, just because even though we're not, like, you can tell, I actually can tell you, this is actually the truck I used to use, because normally I would probably take that out, but, I wanted to try out all the internationals. Well, maybe we'll try some other ones. We'll put you there. And we'll do the cup holder. The only thing I don't know is like I'll just put the Coca-Colas down, even though you know, for it, even though it's like it's not really okay. Okay, now that one up here, I'm gonna leave that default. We're gonna confirm the order on that specifically. Because I want to come up here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that chrome shield on it. Yep. Okay. I'm saying if there's anything new on these trucks. Nothing really new. Double RADEON. Okay. Alright. That's all I'm adding is just that to our truck. I am double... That'll just tell us if it's an oversized load. Yeah. Okay. Nothing needs to change there, guys. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to get off. But I just wanted you guys to know that there was a incident with the ice facility just quickly on that. Um, but anyway, if you guys want to see all of the better political news and better things, you guys can go to Midas Touch, David Packman, and others. Um, you know, Brian Tyler Cohen as well. Tennessee Brando's another one that I watch as well. That you guys can go and absolutely check out over there. But you guys can do that as well for other content. That's where most of my news comes from, genuinely. But not always. Sometimes they will come through Newsbreak, so you guys can check that out as well. Not any sponsors or anything like that for any of these people. But you guys can also just follow me and come back tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll give you guys some more things to talk about. But make sure you guys are followed here on Trovo and TikTok. It's free to do so. Also, if you're on YouTube, you guys can hit that subscribe. It's free to do so, unlike Trovo, where you do have to pay. Because on Trovo you do get access to past live streams and stuff, but if you're on YouTube, you get access to afternoon streams specifically for free. So if you are watching on Trovo, it's always good to have multiple platforms because, you know, I'm at a whim for these platforms. If TikTok becomes a right-leaning censored set because Fox News or because some other entity like Oracle or whatever's going to own it and they're going to turn it to right-leaning, you guys can lean on Trovo and TikTok as well because Trovo is not an American company. It's not owned by American. It is a Chinese company, and I don't care if China has my data because guess what? I can do whatever I want here and all out of the whim of these other places, and YouTube too. So it's always great to do that. If you guys enjoyed today, hit that like, and make sure that if you do subscribe, hit that bell notification so you're always up to date here on YouTube. And if you're on Trovo, you can download the app and get notified that way as well. So anyway, we'll catch you guys later.